All right, Damali, we're live, but I didn't remove the podcast. You know. It's still there, so they won't see me. Okay, I hope you're hearing me better now. I hope you can jump back on right now, please. Jump back on, everyone. You're hearing me now. Wonderful. Hello and welcome to Love Online. It might be a shortened version, but I'll see how best I can do it because I know that your lunchtime is going and gone. So, welcome to Love Online. Again, it's a lunchtime series that is dedicated to improving your relationship with your loved ones and with yourself. I'm your host, Bishop Dr. Carla Dunbar, your love specialist, and I'm excited to share with you practical and insightful tips as to how to help to build healthy and thriving relationship. Right, I see Christy on. Christy, are you hearing me clearly? You can let me know if you're hearing me clearly. Christy, over there in Japan, that would be nice so that we can proceed. Wonderful. All right, so through our ministries here at Carla Dunbar Ministries, we have been able to impact the lives of hundreds, if not thousands of families and restore marriages and mend family bonds. And each week we cover topics such as improving communication with your spouse, setting healthy boundaries, strengthening family bonds, nurturing friendships, and just developing healthy self practices if you are single. Wonderful. Chrissy said she's hearing us now. So it's a go. It's a go. It's a go. It's a go. Right. Today we are going to be discussing steps to forgiveness. This is a topic that you posted online on our pages, and we're trying to look at it today. So we're discussing steps to forgiveness. So if you have not already done so, please share back with the persons who came on. Let them know we're back on and we sound clearer now. Follow us on all our social media pages at Carla Dunbar Ministries, and share with friends and families who you know can benefit. I have had some really old timers, old star seniors who have been sharing with us that they have been following and they are enjoying the things that we talk about. One mother-in-law told me the other day that she was helped by the podcast that we shared when we talked about the place for in-laws. So people are learning and we're happy for that, right? So let's see how we can navigate the next few minutes that we have left on the relationship. A lot better. Thank you. God bless. Bless you so much. All right. Good. So everybody, please jump on back online. Let's make it a little go for it. Let's plug a few minutes and plug it good, right? So I hope Kenisha is hearing us better now. So Instagram is hearing better. Facebook is hearing us better. YouTube, I think, should be hearing us better. Wonderful. Great. All right. So we're giving person like a few minutes to just jump on back. I know your lunchtime is going, but we can't afford for you to miss what we're doing today, right? So I was talking about the whole matter of when cheating happens into a relationship, what happens? The shock of discovering that the fear has happened, it brings a range of emotions, anger, rejection, you know, all of those things that happen, even the same emotions that you go through when someone has died. You have those, the disbelief, the betrayal, all of those things happens when an affair has taken place. And I'm not talking about a male who's cheating, you know, I'm talking about anyone, male or female, who cheats in a relationship, because it happens on both sides of the fence. So I'm not pointing any finger, right? So what I'm saying is that these things happen and your emotions are fluctuating and all over the place because you don't know how to deal with the shock and the betrayal, especially if children are involved in the cheating or it happened a long time and you just find, you know, it doesn't matter when it happened. The emotions are just chaotic all over the place like a schizophrenic, right? So that is happening and you want to deal with it. Then there are additional emotions like jealousy and shame and embarrassment because you thought, you know, you had ownership in your relationship. You thought that it was okay and things were fine, and you realize that no, it's not, right? No, when the emotions are as rampant as they are, when you just find out, it's difficult for you to think clearly. And what I generally tell persons to do is to get outside help, like a therapist like myself, to help you to navigate. Now, I know that the cheating spouse may not want you to do that, but I want to remind any cheating spouse here that You are in the doghouse at this point. You are in no position to demand what takes place, right? Your considerations must be at this time for how your partner is feeling, who has found out about your act of infidelity. So don't make any demands at this time like you are belittling and minimizing the feelings of your spouse at this point in time, right? So to answer the question, can cheating be forgiven? Yes, certainly. It can be forgiven. If you have heard my story, you know, right? And can the relationship go back to normal? I don't want you to have a normal relationship. That is where I would stop right there. So don't have a normal relationship, right? Treat your relationship with the priority that it deserves. Give it everything. So nurture your relationship and do the things that necessitates that you hold each other's attention in the relationship, right? Because usually when cheating happens in a relationship, it says that something is not well in the relationship. Something is out of sync, right? And I know some of you might say, boy, I'm do everything and them still cheat. Look here, just do your part. That's all I'm saying, right? And violence happens. We're not even dealing with domestic violence today, but my team can listen and they can make that a topic. So we can treat with domestic violence because it happens in relationship. Yes, it happens and it's hard to forget. But here's what I want the cheating spouse to do. Apologize with sincerity. Don't just say, all right, I'm sorry. No. Because the truth is, you never cheat for your partner to find out, or your partner find out, and you tell your partner. In a lot of the cases, it's not you tell your partner. Very few times, it's conscience right persons why they say, while they'll tell their spouses. So I'm not saying it doesn't happen. I'm just saying most of the time, is partners become detectives and find out what is happening. When this happens, apologize with sincerity. Right? And then you decide now on the way forward. So when you're apologizing with sincerity, both of you are going to talk about it openly. You have to have a conversation. You can't just want to, oh, all right, so I'm sorry, and your spouse must not want to talk about it. No, they must want to talk about it because feelings are overwhelming at this point, right? And so you have to talk about it. You have to have a conversation. Your spouse is going to want to have questions because spouses are going to be, evaluating themselves as a result of the cheating. Is women do know, women never did do that kind of a thing. Where did I fall short? That happened. You must facilitate, if you are the cheater, a conversation. Big person business this. You understand? So understand that one. No, and then have the conversation so you can understand the factors that have contributed to the affair. And whilst we know that it can be generally accepted that affairs are, symptomatic or of problems that are in the relationship, there may be multiple reasons why this has happened. It might not have nothing at all to do with the other spouse, but you have to talk about it because people come into relationship with baggage, People are highly sexed, oversexed. People are lacking and starring in love. People have low self-esteem and they feel like belonging to multiple people will make them feel better about themselves. A lot of things can cause it. It doesn't have to be right there. And of course, there are relationships where there are no cheating at all. I know relationship where cheating not happen in the relationship. I'm not saying that they are perfect. Other things are happening in the relationship. But based on the commitment that they have made, I have good colleagues and persons that I know that is not happening, right? Love should be enough to hold it together. But boy, sometimes love is so ephemeral that it not hold it together because we don't have a really good understanding of the love that it necessitates, right? For you to focus on your partner exclusively and not look outside, right? And spouses cheat for different reasons. Men cheat for different things than women cheat for a lot of the times. And I'm not even trying to get into that right now. I'm just trying to help you to move on after the affair and try to mend the relationship so that you can come back to some sort of wholesomeness. I don't want to call it normalcy, but wholesomeness in your relationship. And so I want for the spouse who has been cheated on to resist the urge to blame yourself. Don't do it. Resist the urge. If you know that you are not at fault, and no matter how far, nothing that you do should be at fault. Everybody must take individual responsibility. You understand? So I want you at first to forgive yourself of everything that you are doing to feel okay. It's okay not to be okay if your spouse cheat on you. It's okay to cry. It's okay to feel rejected. It's okay to feel like everything, like your world is going to pieces. It is okay to feel that way because that's exactly what has happened in this moment. Right? So I want you to understand that. So cheating spouse, apologize with sincerity, please. Right? And give your partner an opportunity to talk. And then you can decide how we're going to go forward. Are we going to see a therapist? Are we going to share with somebody so that we can get the help that is necessary? And you, by agreeing with this, will be demonstrating your ongoing commitment to change. This is you saying, all right, yeah, man, I know I'm wrong, I'm willing to work on this thing, right? So you're taking accountability for what has happened, right? And then after that conversation, you must make a decision to end the affair. Look here, you amputate it, you cut off that affair. I don't know what that person means to you and how far you and them coming from and what has ensued. End the affair. If a child is involved, like a child is born out of that affair, you still end the affair with the mother. You're not ending the affair with the child because you can't do that, right? But you end the affair, right? Lady Shinake is asking if we are live. I think we are live, right? So I'm saying, don't end the affair. You have to end the affair. And you have to focus on transparency. You need to take off some of the locks that you have on the phones. You understand? Because the partner who has been cheated on, if you're not transparent, how it is that they're going to know what is happening? Remember now, you have eroded trust. Trust has been totally broken. You understand? So if that has happened and you're not willing to be transparent, you can't say where you are if your spouse call you. You can't take a video call. Your phone can't ring because you put it on silent and you hide it under the pillow and you walk with it go to the bathroom. These things cannot happen if you have cheated and you want to mend the relationship. You have to desist from doing these things. You understand? And don't personalize your partner's action, because if your partner crying and your partner ranting or raving, or acting like a maniac, don't personalize them feelings. It's not about them. It's about what you have done, right? So you have to take into consideration these things, right? Acknowledge your partner's feeling as valid. Whatever the emotions are, acknowledge it, man. The hurt, the rejection, the betrayal, and listen to the end. When I am telling spouses to go home and talk about it and apologize, I give them rules. I say, when your partner is sharing how he or she is hurting, do not interject and do not try to stop them. Listen to the very end. Allow them to share how they are feeling as a result of what is going on in the relationship, right? So it's important that you do these things, because if you do these things, then you can get back on track, right? So you're going to now decide if there's hope for the relationship. When you talk about it, you're deciding if there's hope for the relationship. After you try to understand what your spouse say would have caused this thing to happen, decide whether or not you think you want to go on, right, in the relationship, because you can go on and you can forgive and you can move on. Hey, how you doing, right? So I want you to do that, right? And resist diminishing their fear as it's a mistake. Some of them are not fear, some of them are relationship and a family out there. Not a fear. A fear is a temporary thing. Some of you have formulated relationship that has been going like you have a second life. So you have to allow your partner to talk about it and then decide if they want to continue in the relationship, right? So when you assess the relationship, the likelihood of being able to forgive, and move forward increases, right? Because both of you will feel that the relationship is worth saving. So you need to do that, right? And identify in your partner the qualities in your partner that led to the affair. What is it that has caused it in the first place? And the willingness now to want to move on with the relationship. You can do that, right? But most importantly is the forgiveness. Most importantly is the talking about it. Most importantly is that conversation. Most importantly is that accountability, taking responsibility, not blaming your spouse for not giving you enough sex or not giving you enough affection, right? Because women cheat for affection mostly, men cheat for sex mostly. Not blaming your spouse, take responsibility. Nobody never put no gun on your head and send you go do it. You understand? So I don't want you to do that because that is not going to cause. No, for the spouse who has been cheated on, you have to choose to forgive and plan to forget. You're not going to fully forget. When I say forget, don't assume that I'm using the word forget to mean you obliterate the totality of the impact of that on you. You cannot forget it because it's an impact that would have left an indelible mark. That is, you may not be able to get over, but you can get past this. But you have to choose. It's a choice you made. Some of you would have heard me talk on Sim Soul session the other day about how I chose to forgive. And some of you who have been counseled by me would have heard me say that. I choose to forgive, that even when the evidence presents itself as something that is aligned against what I have chosen, I still have to remind myself, because you have to do that. You have to remember what you tell yourself that you're going to forget. So you have to remember what you tell yourself that you're going to do to move on, that you're going to try to rebuild trust. Right? And so when things happen, like you call your spouse one time and you don't get them, don't immediately go off on a tangent to say that your spouse is out there cheating, because that may not be the case. Because if your spouse works somewhere, then they may not be able to answer the phone immediately. Right? So if your spouse can't turn on the video when they call you, even though I said to them they must can answer a video call. But you have to remember too that the spouse can be in the company of persons. You don't want to exacerbate the situation for it to be escalating and worse than what it really is. I know that cheating is a choice. It's a choice that anybody makes because it's a selfish act, right? On anybody's part, it's a selfish act. And you know, we probably have to carry on the conversation because cheating is not just physical. Cheating can be emotional. And a lot of women fall into emotional relationships. So we are not blame gaming the men today. And I believe that it is even harder when you fall into an emotional relationship. It's hard. I know the physical can be hard, but it's really hard because guess what? You see, when your partner is emotionally involved with somebody else, you have them body, but you don't have them none at all. So women are very good at emotional relationships. Right? And it's still a choice that you make too. But I am, as a therapist and a psychologist, I understand that there are many factors that can lead to this. Many factors. You understand that can lead to this. Persons who have been abused as children, persons, who have suffered different kind of abuse, sexual and otherwise. These are also factors that contribute to a person feeling the need to cheat on their spouse, because you're not thinking about the spouse and the relationship. You're really thinking about yourself. That's why it's really a selfish act. But there are things, you understand? And some of them are fun. Now, look here, workplace, we have to talk about that one next time. Workplace relationship, that is dipping your pen in companies' ink. We'll talk about that another time. We can't even go there today. I'm just trying to help you with some steps to try to heal from you go forward. That's what I'm saying. How do you move forward? So 1, acknowledge the affair. 2, apologize sincerely. Take responsibility and be accountable for what you have done. That's for the cheating spouse, right? Validate your spouse's feeling, whatever emotion they are manifesting at the given time. Validate it. Acknowledge it and validate it. Don't minimize how they are feeling or try to point a finger at them. That's for the cheating spouse. For the spouse who has, and then amputate the relationship. Do whatever you need for do. If you need to leave the workplace or whatever you need to do for your spouse to feel better, it is your responsibility. And like I say, don't make no demands if you are the cheater, because you're in the doghouse at this time. And so you can't make any demands on your spouse. You're not in a position to do it. Right? My husband would say, the man who passes feces on the road, don't remember it is the one who step into it. So you have to remember that you have created a wound that needs to be treated, and you have to treat it gently for it to heal. Right? Allow your spouse to talk. Don't try to shut them up and tell them, but you're done already. No, but you're done already. Don't heal the wound. You ever see a wound heal in one day? It takes time. Forgiveness is a process too, It can be instant like coffee, like Jesus. but it also depends on the intensity and depth of the hurt. It can take some time to heal, right? So allow for the process by acknowledging what has happened, what you have caused, what has been caused as a result of your actions. And then for the spouse who has been cheated upon, do not blame yourself, right? Even if there are gray areas in your relationship, don't blame yourself. Give yourself permission to feel how you are feeling at the time. Make the choice after you have had the conversation or you're brought in the therapist who will help you to navigate. Make the choice to forgive your spouse. It's something that you choose to do. And remember that when you forgive, you're really letting yourself, giving yourself liberality and freedom, right, to heal in the relationship. Because I have seen person hold on to hurt like this for 30 odd years. I had a couple who came 30 odd years, she held on to it, and it was hurting both of them because they were now seniors, very, very seniors, near 100, and still have not healed. So, yes, right? Give yourself permission to feel how you feel, but make a decision to forgive your spouse, even if the evidences point otherwise. If you call your spouse, don't be so clingy. If you call your spouse and your spouse don't answer same time, allow them when them answer to tell you what happened. Ask them, babes, I was calling you, what happened? Why I never answer? That kind of a thing, right? You can't measure sincerity really, You cannot put it on a scale and wait. So if you say, boy, say there's something about the person was not sincere. The person can talk and they are sincere, but you don't know. I remember, and I can share right here. So when my husband told me that he wanted to change after cheating, and I never believed him. And when he asked me to pray for him, and I asked him why, and he told me because he wants to change. I never believed one word when he said, but look at him today. From he gave his life to the Lord at that point on that day when I led him into the prayer of forgiveness. He has not turned back. Is he perfect? No, but neither am I. So I'm saying it can work. You understand? Yeah. And right. Not true, you're guilty of that. So right. So not bad. Right. Good. So we're saying it can happen, but there are ways. Right? So as long as you deal with it in some of the ways that I have given you, and that is not an exhaustive list that I've given you. I'm just telling the cheating spouse, because oftentimes the cheating spouse don't understand why you're carrying on. Sometimes, especially if they know genuinely, say them cut it off, they don't understand. All right. So, yeah, I want to tell you about what is coming up on Sunday. So I want to take some time for that too, right? But if you have other questions, just like how you posted this one, and we're dealing with it today, and I know you have to go back to the people in work because we're not in the habit of taking up your employer's time, right? But you can work with what I tell you. Right? You can work with it. Apologize with sincerity if you have the cheater. Decide on the way forward. Ensure that there's transparency so that your spouse feelings can be validated. You decide on you're going to be ongoingly commit. Right? Make each other your accountability partner. Be accountable to each other so your spouse can ask you. You go outside and somebody seek you, somebody look like them want latch on to you. Come home and tell your spouse might quarrel and vex and so, but bless her. They will be happy that you have told them. And husbands and wives, transparency is important and awareness. So when you are keeping the information of your infidelity, we find out now, and then you're keeping it. You don't want to tell us everything. And we want to know everything. Awareness helps us, especially as women. It helps us to heal. So don't say you're not telling us because what you don't know don't hurt you. No, tell us because we heal by awareness. Us women, we heal by awareness. You men might not want to know all of the nitty-gritty details, and some of you want to know too, right? But we heal from that, right? Good. You said, Francine, you and your husband had the conversation just yesterday. See there? Good things we're talking about, right? And end the affair. Cut it off, chop it off, amputate it, and focus on what you need to focus on now. And if your partner ranting, raging, etc., not personalize them feeling. Understand that they are hurting. Understand that they feel rejected. They feel betrayed. Some men are emasculated because man can't take bun. Women treat with this thing better than men, right? But at the same time, it's not supposed to happen because exclusivity is what is supposed to happen in a relationship. All right? Send other things that you want me to talk about as we Continue every Wednesday and tell your friends about it. Tell them about the gym too. That is every fourth Sunday evening, right here on location or online, live at Carla Dunbar Ministries. It's the Grow Your Marriage Ministry. Tell them about the courses that we offer in the Grow Your Marriage Academy, whether it's a single person, a dating couple, a spouse, a couple together, their spouses, courses for husbands and wives, etc., etc. Now, Sunday coming, I want Damali to put up that on the screen for me. If you have it, Damali, can you just put up the Lovathon flyer on the screen? Them can't even see everybody on the screen, but look here. This has never happened anywhere in Jamaica before. A Lovathon or a telethon of this nature, with this caliber and magnitude of speakers, presenters, MCs, artists, all of that, right? That is on the screen for you to see, right? The likes of Jenny, the likes of Nadine Blair, the likes of Brian and Basilia, you know, the likes of Omari, Dr. KJ, Short Boss, Crystal Tomlinson, the likes of Dervan Malcolm, the likes of Alicia Taylor, all of these persons, the likes of Kim Alex, Short Boss, Jody K. Miles, Roddy Gotti, the likes of the Honorable Juliet Cuthbert Flynn, you know, all of these people that are going to be joining us, and so many others that I never mentioned. Pastors, Bishop Roderick Sr., Bishop Owen Martin, Carsa Tennant Newell, Kerry and Kiki Toombs, Dr. Sarah Lawrence, you know, Dr. Anonia Griffiths. It's a full telethon, Lovathon Summit. Why we call it Lovathon is because you can't say you love and you can't give. And we are giving towards building a home for somebody, for a mother and her children, and then some. And so we have a target. I wanted to tell everybody, call in. Even now, people started giving from yesterday. Call in, go on the platform, give to the cause, make your pledges to give. Call the numbers that are presented there, and we will possibly put out other numbers by the end of the week. Sunday morning from 7 a.m. to midnight, 17 hours of love that we are giving in this Lovathon to help to make the vision a reality. We'll have endorsement from His Royal Majesty of the Urala Kingdom in Nigeria. We will have endorsement from persons like Prodigal Son and Carleen Davis. We are getting endorsement all the way out of Israel, right? Because God has hooked me up with some good people in some good places, right? And so endorsements are coming in from different places because God has allowed the visionary that we are and the help that we have become to marriage and family to be broadcasted abroad in different spaces. So join the live 7 a.m. to midnight. Tell somebody about it. Share it on your pages, please, so that we can realize God can blow our minds as we go about this day on Sunday. Right, and we want to thank our partners already. Courses coming on board, Party Time Services, Best Dressed Chicken has come on board, CB Foods, yes, because they are helping us. Kiwanis Club, Woolipa Kiwanis Club, I can't even talk about the whole of them. Grace Kennedy's on board, Emerge Multimedia, you know, all of the sponsors that are on board, Livewire MC, all of you, we love you. And we thank you so much. So until Sunday, I won't say next week. Next week, Wednesday for Love Online again. But until Sunday, look forward to seeing you as we kickstart the day at 7 a.m. with Lovathon as we give love. God bless you. Take care of yourself and give self-care and take care of your spouse. It's your responsibility. God bless you.